Welcome to Fireside Giants. My name is Alex with my co-host here, Anthony Rivardo. Today, we wanted to give you guys a little bit of an injury report regarding the New York Giants. All these guys on that long list, laundry list of injuries, especially from that last game against Dallas, where pretty much half the offense went down. But we want to give some updates on Andrew Thomas, Daniel Jones, Kadarius Toney, who's a big one everyone's wondering about, Kenny Golladay, and the rest of these guys, and maybe who's making a return this upcoming week, and Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton. So, before we dive into this injury stuff, Anthony, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing real good. We got some good news. We got some not so good news. So, for the most part, though, pretty good news. Nothing season ending, nothing devastating for the New York Giants. I mean, not that there's much of a season left for us anyway, unfortunately, but never want to see players injured. Always want to see these players play, get on the field, and hopefully have some good performances that can make us fans proud. So, sounds like we're going to see some more performances this season out of Daniel Jones, hopefully out of Saquon Barkley and Kenny Golladay, which is very exciting for me, and I'm sure for all of you fans listening.
Absolutely. So let's dive into one of the more surprising, if not disappointing ones. I'm sorry, I can't start this one on a positive note, but we'll have some more positive stuff in a minute. Andrew Thomas did not participate in practice today. Not really sure why. He suited up last week. He was active. He did not take a snap. They really gave that left tackle spot to Nate Solder, really trying to feel the flow of the game. Once DJ went down, maybe he was planned to play the second half, and after that, they're like, we're not going to win this game, and they just kept him on the bench, and let's just save him for another day. Andrew Thomas still working his way back from a foot injury he suffered against the Saints, where somebody stepped on his foot. Not really exactly sure what happened, but he walked away from the game certainly in a bit of pain and trying to recover and rehabilitate, and it's taken him some time. He's limping a little bit, but did not practice today, Anthony. Obviously does not show good indication that he'll be available this week. Maybe they're just trying to take it easy, just give him that extra time. They know he's going to be okay if he steps foot on the field and is able to play. Maybe they just don't want to re-aggravate it or put him in a position where he, gets injured again or re-aggravates that stuff. So Anthony, what are you thinking about this injury? Are you definitely concerned about him not playing this upcoming week, or do you think this is more of just let's rest him, don't play him, just have him rehabilitate, get go to the trainers, do some personal stuff, and really that's about it? Because I don't think he needs to be incorporated into the practice week if he doesn't need to be with that injury.
Yeah, from what I understood of the injury, the Giants just held him out of the Cowboys game as a precautionary tale. They wanted to make sure that he was fresh and ready to go for the Rams game and the rest of the season. If you rush him back too quickly versus the Cowboys, there's a chance of re-injury, chance of aggravating it severely, and then he's missing 5 more weeks or 4 more weeks. I think that the Giants sat him on Sunday with the idea in mind that he looks healthy enough to play, but we don't need him to play, especially with our record being 1-3, and then we fall to 1-4. There was no reason to put him out there, right? So just have the backups play and have him get healthy for next week so he's healthy for the rest of the season long term, and that there isn't no aggravation to the injury that could cause there to be any problems really long term, like looking ahead to next season, right? So I think the Giants were just being extra careful, but if I had to put some money on it and bet, I think Andrew Thomas is ready to go. He doesn't need to practice this week. We know what he is. We know he's a good player, and I think that he's ready to play on Sunday, and I do predict that he will play against the Rams on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think, don't try to re-aggravate that injury. Just let him rest. Let him just walk around, just stand by, watch practice, know the game plan. I feel comfortable with him just going in there without much practice this week and performing well, at least better than Nate Solder, who was an abomination last week. Let's just say it how it is. He was an abomination. It was really, really sad to see how much of he's regressed over the past 2-3 seasons. Really, ever since he joined the Giants, he's been a fraction of the player he was in New England. Moving to right tackle, not a left tackle. He just didn't show anything really. I know it takes some players some time to get their feet underneath of them, but at the end of the day, at 4 weeks at right tackle, and he showed pretty much less than Matt Pert did in one game against a pretty solid Dallas pass rush. We talked about Matt Pert last episode, and how we think he should be the starting right tackle moving forward. Get him the snaps, get him the experience. He only has an upward trajectory. Nate Solder is washed at this point, not worth putting Daniel Jones or any quarterback in harm's way, at least because we know he's not going to get better. He's probably just going to hover around that same kind of below average mark at the end of the day. But I feel good about Andrew Thomas. I'm not overly concerned about him not practicing today. I think it's more of a being cautious type of formality. But this laundry list of things is pretty long. Saquon Barkley obviously going to be out for at least a week or two with a low ankle injury, that is. Kenny Golladay also expected to miss about 1 week with a hyperextended left knee. suffered on that almost interception to Trayvon Diggs that Daniel Jones kind of tried to force in there. And a lot of people have having this Trayvon Diggs conversation to me and hitting me up saying, is Trayvon Diggs an overrated corner? Is he an elite corner? And my answer is this for all those people actually wondering. He's an extremely aggressive, instinctual, athletic cornerback who I think right now is vastly overrated, but I think he has the potential to be that good. He is a very good player, just incredible talent there, but he's super young. He's like a second year NFL player. Like, he's still learning the position. He's still learning the fundamentals, and he's getting a lot better every game. And I think that he's going to be a really great corner. Right now, he's not Deion Sanders. He's overrated, in my opinion. Is he one of the best corners in the league? Absolutely not. But is he going to get there? Based on his trajectory and based on his plays this year, he's going to get there, and he's going to be a very good corner for Dallas for quite a long time. So that's how I feel. Overrated, yes, right now, but in the future, I think he has the potential to be as good as people are making him out to be. So that's my Trayvon Diggs take. So, pretty unbiased there. I think he's a great player, and he has insane interception abilities, Anthony.
Yeah, I'll throw out my take on him as well. I think he's one of the most aggressive cornerbacks in the NFL, which is always a give and take. Sometimes it gives you some really great plays. Sometimes it takes away some plays from you. And with Trayvon Diggs, we saw plays where he was far too aggressive guarding Kadarius Toney, right? Kadarius Toney runs an in route, a fake in route. He jumps right on that in route. Kadarius Toney bounces it outside, and that's a 30-yard gain down the left sideline, right? So that's Trayvon Diggs. There's also plays where he's playing the deep half in a cover two zone, and he totally blows his coverage because he knows that the quarterback is going to throw this deep crosser. He picks the ball off knowing that, but at the same time, if the quarterback didn't throw that deep crosser, he had a touchdown down the left side of the field, right? So that's Trayvon Diggs. He's just a very aggressive cornerback. Long term, he might need to be a CB2 once teams start to figure this out, but you can't deny the fact that he has a knack for getting his hands on the football. He's got great ball skills. If the ball is in his reach, he's going to go for it. And that's just something impressive right there. Like, he does have that like little trait where he's just always around the ball. And sure, teams are going to stop throwing his way at some point, but also they might not, because he is letting up a lot of yards in coverage and he isn't locking down corner or receivers on every single play. It's just the plays where he looks like he's not in coverage. He's in coverage. He's got the great makeup speed to jump some routes and to be really aggressive. And that's kind of the thing that you love from young cornerbacks. You can reel an aggressive cornerback in. They say the same thing about quarterbacks. Cornerbacks and quarterbacks are the same way. You can reel them back in, but if they're conservative, it's hard to push them and get them to be more more aggressive. So for the Cowboys, they do have a stud over there in Trayvon Diggs. No, I don't think that he is the best cornerback in the NFL. I do think that the interception numbers are inflating his production and stats and the way that people look at him, but he is a very talented young player, and he does have a very promising future in this NFL.
Yeah, in this NFL, I couldn't have said it better myself. But yes, I agree. I think he has a pretty bright future, and it sucks to say because obviously I want everyone in Dallas to be absolute garbage, and we just run over them every week and every year. So that's how I personally feel, but it's unfortunately not the case. They have a better system going than we do at the moment, and there's a lot of conversations to have down the road about what the Giants might do after this season in terms of Dave Gettleman. Like, what happens to him? Where do they go after this? Is it the Kevin Abrams show? God forbid. Do they move on from Daniel Jones? A lot of conversations to have in the future. But we're going to skip over that right now because we're still trying to enjoy the present and not go absolutely insane in week 6. But let's talk about a couple more injured players. Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton both expected to play against the Rams. Big addition to this team. Obviously, that is depending on Daniel Jones and Mike Glennon. Like, can Mike Glennon really exercise this offense? Can Daniel Jones make a comeback? And, that's the player that we have to talk about. Daniel Jones today, he was running around. He was in pads, despite Joe Judge saying he wasn't going to be in pads. He was in pads, throwing the ball around. He was running on the backfield. He was doing some stuff here and there. He's in the 3rd stage of a 5-stage, or rather step, concussion protocol. So he has plenty of time to get through the last 2 steps. Personally, I think he's going to play. I think Daniel Jones is going to play this upcoming week, but he's going to be designated to a pocket passer. He's not going to be running the football. He's not going to be doing any zone reads. He's going to be RPOs and throwing the football in the pocket, and they're going to have to protect him. And to be quite honest, I don't think Andrew Thomas plays if Mike Glennon plays quarterback. You know what I mean? I think that they're pretty much going to submit this loss if Mike Glennon has to start here, and they're going to be like, screw it, let's just throw Nate Solder out there and let Andrew Thomas heal. If Daniel Jones can play, I think Andrew Thomas plays, and I think if Mike Glennon plays, we're going to see Nate Solder again at left tackle. That's how I personally feel about this upcoming week. So, Anthony, when we're looking at Daniel Jones, are you optimistic he's going to play this week? I think he will, barring any setbacks or any symptoms that pop up after practice or whatnot. But so far, I'm pretty encouraged with what I've been hearing.
Yeah, I think he's going to play. I don't think he should play. I don't think it's smart for his long-term health, not even health related to football, but that's his brain. You know, CTE is a serious thing. It is a serious illness that affects former NFL players, and a great way to get CTE is to get a concussion and rush back within the next 5 days and get back on the field. I mean, that's a 6-day break from the point of a concussion that was so severe he couldn't walk off the field and then playing football again. He's going to get hit in the head during this game. He might not get hit as severely as he did last week, but there's going to be a play where he gets sacked and he falls to the ground and he hits his head on the floor, or somebody goes to hit his arm while he's throwing, smacks him right in the top of the head, and his helmet obviously shakes and rattles around and moves his brain around. Like, it's just not smart in my opinion. I think that the Giants should do the right thing, hold him out for an extra week. I don't think they will though, because I think Daniel Jones is going to pitch to them in the locker room. I'm ready to play and I want to play, because we all know he is one tough son of a gun. I mean, last year, Joe Judge said that hamstring injury should have ended his season. That's what Joe Judge said. But it didn't. He came back 2 weeks later. Then he re-aggravated the injury, but then he came back after that because he said, you know what, screw it. I'm still playing through. So to me, it sounds like Daniel Jones, just knowing him, knowing his character, and knowing the Giants, they're probably going to let him play, and he's probably going to almost force them to let him play. But really, in my opinion, it's not a good idea. He shouldn't be playing this week. They should wait an extra week before they put him back out there.
I would concur with that as well. Okay, let's take a look at some other ones. Jabril Peppers, he said basically Dave Gettleman was walking by and he's like, "Are you ready to play?" And he was like, "I was ready to play last week." So clearly Peppers was ready to play against Dallas. They kept him inactive for that game, and hopefully he's going to play this week. I don't think anything's going to stop him. Kadarius Toney, our new collective favorite player, is going to play. He was practicing today in full, so really, really exciting to see that he is not hampered by that ankle injury that seemed to really hurt him during the Dallas game. So clearly he got over it pretty quickly. He's tough as nails. Really, really respect the guy for what he did last game. Aside from the punch, I think he learned from it big time. It doesn't look like Joe Judge really put him in the wheelhouse for anything, except for just minor consequences and kind of just calling him out for that action. I think that he did the right thing. I think he used this as a teaching moment and didn't really over dramatize this entire ordeal and really punish him in a way that he would be resentful in the future. So I think what they did with him is good. Logan Ryan has a hip issue. He will probably be playing. I think he was limited. Nick Gates, obviously done for the year. Shane Lemieux, done for a while, if not the whole year. Andrew Thomas, we talked about him. Blake Martinez, done for the year. Ben Bredesen was limited with a hand issue. Of course, he's been working his way back. That left guard spot is an absolute disaster right now. Matt Skura, he also has a knee issue during pre-game warmups. He tried to play, but it didn't really work out. He got pulled pretty early. Rodarius Williams tore his ACL last game, and that was really unfortunate because this is an interesting story, Anthony. The Giants have actually been active looking in the cornerback market, according to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. They've been considering trading away a cornerback, which is, in my opinion, why Rodarius Williams is getting a lot of snaps, or was at least, because maybe they were trying to see, can he hold it over as much as Bradbury, which is unfortunately not the case because he got really toasted last week by Amari Cooper. But I think the kind of the thing here is they were looking in the quarterback market, potentially looking to trade somebody. Maybe it was Bradbury trying to offload that contract that clearly, last year was a great contract for a player who was a top 5 corner, and this year he looks like a different athlete. I don't really know what's going on with him, but at the end of the day, they were trying to get rid of him. And I think that Rodarius Williams playing was a big indication of that. And they also expect to get Aaron Robinson back from the injured list after the Week 6 game against the Rams, which is another big point to make. They still have Darnay Holmes. They still got Sam Beal, who I don't even think should be on the roster. And then you have Aaron Robinson starting to make a comeback now. So hopefully he will be able to make an impact in the second half of the season, Anthony. But what do you think about those cornerback rumors? How does that make you feel? That who do you think really they were trying to shop? Because clearly they were in the market to give away somebody.
I think there's a chance they were trying to shop away Darnay Holmes. Darnay Holmes is a really talented young player that flashed a lot of potential in his rookie season last year. But this year, we've barely seen him on the field. So that kind of indicates to me that the Giants feel a little bit more comfortable in their scheme going with a guy like Rodarius Williams, or maybe even like a guy of Aaron Robinson's playing style. But I just think the Darnay Holmes playing style might not be meshing well with the Giants defense right now. Granted, we don't think anyone's playing style is meshing with the Giants defense right now, but if I had to guess who they might be trying to offload, I would assume it's Darnay Holmes, maybe trying to get a late 2020 pick, late round pick in 2022. But unfortunately, you could be right. It could have been James Bradbury. You know, his regression this year has been pretty serious. We looked at him last year as one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. He does not look anything like that this year. So that's super concerning. It's possible that that's who they were trying to ship out of here. But if I had to make a guess, and I also don't even like to say this, I'd guess it is Darnay Holmes. I don't want them to trade Darnay Holmes. I actually want to see Darnay Holmes on the field more. I'm assuming he will see it more now that Rodarius Williams is done for the year, which is also another really crappy injury that not enough people are talking about. Rodarius is a very young, talented, and player and a really awesome person that I wanted to see have a very successful career. So he was already playing, pretty decently for a rookie. Hopefully he bounces back and continues to develop next year. But yeah, if I had to make a guess, I think they were trying to ship Darnay Holmes, but now with the injury of Rodarius Williams, I doubt that they make any moves.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. I mean, Darnay literally played the first week. He actually didn't look terrible, and then he hasn't played since, and I don't really know why. Obviously there's something going on with him, right? Because at the end of the day, like they have Rodarius Williams on Amari Cooper, which is never a good thing. You always want to have Bradbury or Dory Jackson on him, and the fact that they have a rookie 6th round pick instead of Darnay Holmes, who flashed potential last year, is kind of disappointing. So who really knows? The management style and the decision making confuses me daily. We've spoken to his trainer, Darnay Holmes' trainer. He said this kid has insane potential, and they're not giving him a shot. It's the same, logic that as to why they didn't give Matt Peart a shot. Like, who the hell knows? Like, it doesn't make much sense at certain points. But another guy, Anthony, before we wrap this episode up, that did have a workout with the Giants is left guard Forrest Lamp, something to talk about for a moment here. Forrest Lamp last season enjoyed about, let's take a look. He had 1,174 total snaps for the Los Angeles Chargers. He earned a 42.8 run blocking grade and a 60.7 pass blocking grade. Of course, those numbers definitely not great. He started off the season pretty strong as a pass blocker. He's a much better pass blocker than run blocker. I think the Giants could probably use him on a cheaper deal. He's coming back, from not being vaccinated, so now he wants to make a comeback after getting the COVID-19 vaccine. So he's a 6'4'8", 310-pound left guard who is a 2nd-round pick from 2017, has plenty of starting experience. Personally, I mean, why not kick the tires if it's a veteran minimum deal? Let him compete. Wes Martin, I don't even know who the hell that is before they started him last week. Matt Skura, clearly injured and might not be able to play. Ben Bredesen, clearly not might be able to play. Bring in Forrest Lamp, let him compete, and see what happens. I mean, what's the chance that he's worse than what we have now? Personally, I think it's a good win-win move, especially if it's cheap. Anthony, so what are you thinking in terms of bringing him in and letting him compete here?
Yeah, pretty much my train of thought here with the offensive line is more depth the better, right? Can he play offensive line? Does he have starting experience? Yes. Okay, sign him. That's how I feel because there's just so many injuries on this offensive line, and this offensive line has been performing very poorly for the majority of the year outside of the left tackle position and outside of the right tackle position on Sunday against the Cowboys. So I feel very comfortable with what we have at those tackle positions, but on the interior of the offensive line, I don't feel comfortable. I feel very dissatisfied with the way that they've been playing. So I think ultimately, Forrest Lamp, it's a move that the Giants should just make. Just add some more depth there. Why not? It really can't help to bring him in and see if he's better than the guy that we have out there right now. So yeah, Forrest Lamp, they worked him out, and I would really like to see the Giants go ahead and make that signing.
Yeah, so we can hope, guys. We can hope. But let's hope for the injuries to kind of subside this upcoming week. Let's hope that these guys can stay healthy. We cannot afford any more injuries. Rams offense, clearly an elite unit where it's going to be really hard to stop them. I got Cooper Kupp in fantasy, so I'm kind of in a bind here. But at the end of the day, he's probably going to get a couple scores, at least one score and a couple yards. Obviously a Giants win and a Cooper Kupp masterpiece would be my preference. But at the end of the day, we're suffering, man. We're suffering franchise with an offense that is battling some significant injuries to our best players. Let's see what happens, guys. But make sure to subscribe below on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. As always, my friends, have a fantastic rest of your week. We'll catch you guys on the next New York Giants episode.